a curfew on movements south of the Litani River, that they should not be out in the evening and overnight. Otherwise, they might put themselves in danger, Jose.
And Hala, you have this extraordinary presence that you're able to communicate with us as so many things are going on around you. Take us to Old Jerusalem and what's going on.
If I'm having a bit of trouble hearing you, it's because the call to prayer just started. It's Friday today. This is the day of prayer, of course, for Muslims across the Islamic world and here in Jerusalem as well. It's the day off for Muslims. And it's sunset here in Jerusalem, which means it's the start of Shabbat for Jews, from sunset on Friday to sunset on Saturday. I was walking in the old city today, and, Jerusalem is a magical place, but it's also a place where there is a lot of tension between communities, especially in the last year and 2 months since the October 7th attacks, with what's going on in the West Bank, the expansion of settlements, the increase of violence between settlers and Palestinian villagers and residents, and attacks on them, and of course with the second front in the north of Israel with what's going on in South Lebanon. So it's a region on edge, and without opening a whole other story, Jose, as many of our viewers who follow the region know, there is now a just absolutely lightning advance of Syrian rebels outside of Aleppo, and this is something that, of course, if you look at kind of how weakened Hezbollah, Iran, and Russia has been in this part of the world, this rebel advance seems to be connected to all of that. But perhaps that's a discussion for another time, Jose.
It's a perfect discussion to have with you, Hala. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. Questions, meanwhile, remain as to what this deal means, really, for the ongoing conflict in Gaza and the more than 100 Israeli hostages still being held there. Joining us now is Efrat Mashkovitz, the aunt of Naama Levy, one of those hostages. Thank you very much, Efrat, for being with us today. It's been more than 400 days, 419 days
420
since your niece, 420, since your niece was violently taken in that October 7th attack on Israel, the massacre that just, anyway. And I'm just wondering how you 420 days later, which is just inconceivable to see how much pain you all are dealing with. How do you go forward 420 days in?
It's like learning to walk again. It's one foot in front of the other every day, trying to, maintain some kind of routine, and then all the efforts alongside, trying to get to the decision makers, to the inner circle of the decision makers, to implore the leaders to take action. It's been 420 days and barely nothing has happened for the release of the remaining hostages, and you just get through the day somehow.
Yeah, I see the picture of her that's behind you, that you have. I'm just wondering, there's been some proof of life since the massacre, but how, what do you know, and what are you told, and what are the biggest questions that you have?
There has been a sign of life, but it has been months since the last time we were notified that there's been sign of life. And of course, our greatest worry is, how are they surviving there? Naama is the sweetest, strongest, determined girl, but it's been 420 days. Winter is starting again, second winter in those tunnels. What is her physical condition? Is she getting any kind of minimal attention? The sanitary conditions, all of that is incredibly concerning and frightening, right? We want all of them to survive. We wait another day and another day until they're released. But with the winter coming, it's frightening.
Yeah, certainly is. Just wondering if you think that the ceasefire that Israel reached with Hezbollah through the whole Lebanese thing, do you think that
Right.
could have an impact on what's going on in Gaza?
Well, we certainly hope so. First, will it bring the attention back to Gaza? Will it bring the attention back to Hamas? We heard this week that Hamas is ready to come back to the table. At least that's what it was reported in the media. Did we avoid an all-out war in the Middle East? This is the time to leverage everything that has happened so far and take action, make that decision. At the end of the day, it's a decision that the Israeli government needs to make to bring them home. It's possible to create the conditions for a ceasefire with Lebanon. It's possible to create the conditions for a ceasefire with Gaza and bring them all home now.
Yeah. Efrat, what do you want to say? And I'm just giving you the opportunity what do you want to say to President Biden? What do you want to say to President-elect Trump?
Listen, I'm a dual citizen, and I sat around a Thanksgiving table with friends yesterday, being grateful for the community, for the support, for the family. And I know a lot of other Americans joined me in that day. And in that spirit, with that backdrop, I implore the leadership, this current administration, the next administration, there's nothing more important than getting these hostages home. They are suffering. They're barely holding on. It's been 420 days. Put the pressure on the right people, on the right decision makers, and take action. It's been way too long. We can't lose another moment. And that's my expectation, that it's the number one priority.
What do you want to say to Nama?
I miss you. Your mom misses you, your dad, your siblings. We all just want you home and start healing. And I know you're strong, Nama, and I know you're determined, and I know you can take up one step at a time, one breath at a time, and we will come get you.
Efrat Moshkovitz, I thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Day, every minute, every second has to be the most difficult moment. And just want you to know we don't forget, and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks. We'll be right back.
Dutch Online Vet Care is here to make the lives of you and your pets a little easier. Talk to a licensed vet from the comfort of your home. Sign up for Dutch Online Vet Care today. Same-day appointments are available.
Stay informed on the biggest issues of the day. MSNBC has you covered wherever you are. Watch, read, and listen. For the in-depth coverage and analysis you need, stay with MSNBC.
Twelve past the hour after visiting loved ones for Thanksgiving dinner. Some are heading back home today, hoping to beat the traffic, which may be a pretty good idea. Experts predict Sunday could be the busiest day for holiday travel. And with frigid front coming in from the north, that harsh winter weather may make travel a little bit more complicated. Joining us now from an I-95 rest area in Virginia, NBC's Gary Grunbrock and NBC News meteorologist Angie Lassman. So, Gary, what's traffic been like today?
Hey there, Jose. Yeah, so the worst time to travel today is between 7 and 10 a.m. local time. So we're just past it here on the East Coast, but if you're listening on the West Coast, you are right in the middle of it. But that's pretty much it for today in terms of traffic. The next big time we'll see a big rush, of course, is Sunday when everyone's heading back to reality after the long weekend here. So that's sort of the deal on the roads. But in the skies, we're talking about a very different situation because of what Angie's going to talk about in a little bit, this massive winter storm that's coming across the north. We're talking about Ohio, Michigan, talking about upstate New York. These are hardy folks here. They're used to some big snow. But if you're seeing a foot or 2 feet of snow, that is going to impact the roads and that's going to impact the skies as well. Right now, according to our friends at FlightAware, we're seeing 245 delays and only 3 cancellations. Good numbers right now, but as that snow continues to pick up, it is going to change big time. The biggest delays we're seeing right now are in Detroit at DTW and at ORD at O'Hare in Chicago. Jose.
Gary Grunbrock, thank you very much. All the best, my friend. So, Angie, what sort of weather conditions can holiday travelers expect today?
Yeah, so Jose, we've got a couple of spots that we're going to look for some snowy conditions, but a lot of the country is actually going to be quite nice on the cold side of things, but dry for any travel. So most of the south, you'll be fine. We have that wintry chill settling in for parts of the northern plains, but we're not expecting delays when it comes to air travel. That's going to be parts of the Great Lakes that we do see that, though. Detroit, likely one of those spots that has difficult travel. Chicago, potentially with that lake effect snow ramping up over the past 24 hours and continuing here over the next couple of days. Those are going to be some of the roads, I-90 and I-75, that we look for difficulty when it comes to travel as well. The big picture look of that lake effect snow, it's going to be ongoing. You can see it's already ramped up on your satellite and radar downwind of the lakes. We're going to see the snow piling up over the next couple of days, and we've already got 6 million people under these winter alerts because of that. Notice, though, those water temperatures, upper 40s to low 50s. We saw record-breaking water temperatures, so warm waters for this time of year across parts of the Great Lakes. That is just adding on to that cold air coming off the lake, and that means that we essentially just have a lake effect snow machine happening over the next couple of days. So that's what you can expect for places like Buffalo down to Cleveland. You're going to see that piling up here. We could see upwards of 5 feet in some of these spots. So this will be something that likely will cause some delays on the roads, especially in these areas. Again, Jose, I-90, I-81, I-80, all potentially could be slower of a go, as well as I-75 in parts of northern Michigan.
Angie Lassman, thank you so very much. Really appreciate it. Coming up, why demand across the country for food banks has reached an all-time high, even as signs continue to show inflation is starting to cool down a bit. Plus, President Biden's stark warning on Donald Trump's tariff policy.
The ancestors called on us for a reason. To reconnect our people across the entire ocean.
Could have told me we're doing new outfits. Been rocking leaves on my cheeks for 1,000 years.
Disney's Moana 2, rated PG. Now playing only in theaters.
Sometimes it can feel like there's no way out of treatment-resistant depression. You take one antidepressant after another, and they aren't working for you. It's like you're going in circles. Turn to a different choice. Spravato is the first FDA